This is the AHSAA Weekly, your inside look at everything going on with the Alabama High School Athletic Association. I'm John Holder. Coming up on this week's program, we'll check in with the head tennis coach at Mountain Brook High School in Jefferson County, Coach Susan Farlow. The Mountain Brook girls capturing the 30th overall tennis championship in school history at the AHSAA State Tennis Championships last week in Mobile. We'll also meet two more members of the AHSAA Central Board of Control, District 2 Representative Trent Taylor from Andalusia High School and District 8 Representative Brian Jett of Fort Payne High School. Also this week, we'll have our next Wilson Ball Grant recipient, Cody Wood of the Cornerstone Christian School in Birmingham. And of course, we'll have David Holsford's highlights as we take you around the state of Alabama for spring sports highlights in the AHSAA. All of that and more on this week's edition of the AHSAA Weekly. WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA Weekly Show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Uneven floors got you rolling? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong. Get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver Card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
The AHSAA Weekly rolls on now. Time for our Central Board Spotlight, and we have a special treat for you this week. Not one, but two Central Board members from the Alabama High School Athletic Association Central Board of Control that we're going to meet this week. We begin with Trent Taylor. He is the athletic director and head football coach at Andalusia High School in South Alabama, representing District 2, and one of the newest members of the Central Board of Control, the principal at Fort Payne High School, Brian Jett.
Andalusia football coach Trent Taylor considered pursuing a career in the ministry before finding his calling as a football coach. He served as head football coach at Kinston, Strawn, and his alma mater Andalusia in a career that spanned more than 30 seasons.
My management style has probably changed tremendously from what it was 30-something years ago. Most of the assistant coaches that I have on staff now, all of them, to be quite honest with you, are young enough to be my son. So, I feel like that obviously I want them to be more hands-on. And so consequently, I feel like it's my job to mentor them, to train them as far as what's right and wrong in athletics and in our sport and just dealing with kids from day to day, trying to help them to understand because they are young and, they're growing by the experiences that I've been able to have. So, I'm not near the same guy I probably was 30 years ago, but I'd like to think that I'm better because, I do hopefully helping these guys so they go on and as they become head coaches, then, they've learned something from this experience.
Trent Taylor has become one of Alabama's most respected football coaches, and he's one of just two current football coaches serving on the AHSAA's Central Board of Control.
the best way to describe my experience on the Central Board has been a learning experience. The guys that are and gals that are on the Central Board, as well as the members of the staff there, I get excited every time we have a meeting because it seems as though it's a learning situation. Whether it's just learning how they handle a certain situation, learning the dynamics of how the Central Board works, but more importantly, just being around such smart people and watching how they interact with each other, how they interact with different situations, and just how they handle the entire process. So, for me, it's exciting to go. I feel like it's almost like going to a clinic. I learn something each and every time I get to go.
Brian Jett arrived in Fort Payne as a teacher and coach in the fall of 1996. He never left. He taught government economics. He coached basketball, wrestling, and track. He's been an assistant principal or principal on the elementary, middle, and high school levels. And for more than 10 years, he served as a principal at Fort Payne High School.
This is my 25th year in education. All 25 years that I've been here in Fort Payne. I came here 25 years ago. I fell in love with the school system, the community, athletics here at Fort Payne. I love the student body. They are a very passionate group of students, student athletes that we compete in athletics. We compete academic teams. We compete in career tech teams. And I just see that passion in them and wanting to be a part of it. And it's just been a great partnership for 25 years.
Brian Jett says he started his career as a hard-charging coach, but admits he now has a different perspective. And that has definitely changed his managerial style.
Well, my managerial style, I think, has evolved over the years. I think the most important aspect is to keep an open line of communication between the parent, the student, athlete, the community, the school system, the teacher, and always keep an open mind that it's when a parent comes to talk to you, it's their student, it's their child. They have concerns, and to be able to listen and to always be open to their thoughts and the thoughts of the community, and try to do what's right in all aspects. Another part of my managerial style, I would say, would be to push students to have goals in their lives, something to strive towards, short-range goals, medium-range goals, and long-range goals that they can try to achieve. Sometimes you don't always achieve those goals, but I always want them to have goals in their life and know where they're wanting to go in their life.
Most recently, Brian Jett became the newest member of the AHSAA Central Board of Control. He attended his first meeting in January 2021.
As a Central Board member, I think, to be honest with you, I'm there to learn. Mr. Savarese does a fantastic job. He and his staff do a great job. I want to learn from them. I want to learn from other board members. I want to be fair and consistent in that role. I want to serve the state of Alabama and our student athlete to the very best of my ability. And I want them to have as many opportunities as possible to showcase their abilities and styles on the state and national level.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA Weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Hot under the collar because your basement is full of water? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. Ox Foundation Solutions will come up with the right fix for you. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong.
Since 1848, First Bank of Alabama has been dedicated to our customers and excellence in all areas. With constant improvements to our facilities, to adding new products and services to better serve you, our team is fully engaged in all the communities we serve. First Bank of Alabama knows that time is money, so we offer hometown services with advanced technology that allows you to bank on your own schedule. We want to be your community bank, so stop by. Come see us at First Bank of Alabama, where you're always first.
Your health is everything. It is your wealth. Your family's wealth. Being and staying healthy is the only security you can give to yourself and loved ones, your family. With a multifaceted approach to health and wellness, our family will assist and guide you in that quest. Live responsibly. Join our family. Call and make your appointment today.
What's your favorite high school sports memory? A late inning rally? A game-winning shot? A photo finish? Maybe it's a pep rally or a pregame ritual. Maybe it's the euphoria of a late-night bus ride home after a hard-fought win. Maybe it's having pizza with teammates after the game. Now, imagine if it never happened at all. School sports need your help. With budgets getting tighter, it's more than the games that are on the line. It's all the traditions, the community pride, the culture of your hometown high school, plus all those memories that are on the line too. What can you do? It's simple. Buy a ticket when you can. Go to a game. Take the whole family. Let's do everything we can to keep those cherished school sports memories alive.
This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
We are back on the AHSAA Weekly. Right now, we're going to visit in Jefferson County at Mountain Brook. This is in Metro Birmingham, and of course, the Mountain Brook Spartans girls tennis team won the 6A Girls Championship last week at the AHSAA State Championships in tennis in Mobile. The boys team finished a close second to Montgomery Academy, losing by only 3 points. A great performance by the Mountain Brook Spartans. And we have the head coach of both the boys and the girls teams at Mountain Brook High School, Coach Susan Farlow. Coach Farlow, glad to have you with us here this week on the AHSAA Weekly.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Coach, congratulations first and foremost to both of your teams. Outstanding performances. Just kind of tell us about the team this year, really teams, the boys and the girls team. Maybe tell us about some of the leaders on both of those teams this year.
Well, a lot of leaders, a lot of seniors on both teams. I had 4 seniors on the boys' side. Ethan Shannara, Drew Gresham, Sam Chitty, and Thomas Woodall. And then on the girls' side, I have my 2, 3, and 4 players, Emma Karcher, Warner Johnson, and Kate Jeffcoat. And they are all outstanding student athletes and great leaders, and I'm going to really miss them.
This was the 30th overall tennis championship in Mountain Brook history. An incredible performance again by Mountain Brook Tennis. You've coached many of those teams. What will you take away from this team? You've coached a lot of state champions, but what was it about this team that maybe will make them special as you look back over the years?
Well, this year, we moved from 7A to 6A, and all of the tennis players that come through Mountain Brook are serious players. They don't necessarily want to go to college, but they've been training. Go play in college, but they've been training in tournaments. And I was a little bit worried moving to 6A that the girls and the boys would feel like the competition wasn't going to be as strong and, maybe think this is kind of a waste of time, because they really like to play. They want some tough matches. And so I was really excited to see that I was still able to hold on to the top players, and surprised how strong the competition was at 6A, especially on the girls' side.
The fall and the winter sports, they didn't miss having state championships. But because of the virus last year in the spring, all the spring sports were not able to crown state champions. Tell us about that, going through that with your team last year, not being able to compete for a state championship, and maybe how that affected this year as far as maybe the extra drive and determination with having that chance again to compete for a state championship.
Well, last year I had a really strong girls team also. It's cyclical. You'll have, I remember I had 4 years in a row where the boys won the state championship. And so boys dropped down a little bit. Well, the girls have been strong this is the 5th year. And so I really feel confident that we would have won it last year. So it was really disappointing. They were undefeated again last year. I had some seniors that had contributed 3 years before. And so it was very shocking and disappointing to have our last match be, I think it was March 16th. And, we really weren't sure. We thought it was just going to be, we'd come back after spring break. And then not only did we weren't able to finish the season, we weren't able to, get together to, have a banquet or, there was just no closing of that season. So it was really sad and disappointing, but thrilled this year to get it. The AHSAA worked so hard getting it back together and keeping it safe. And I think they did a great job, and everybody was so excited to go back to Mobile.
Your girls team's so very impressive this year. I think you scored, 84 points? You're like 40 points more than your closest competition there. That's really just unbelievable. And then your boys team just right there, only 3 points away from winning a state championship itself.
Yeah, it was really exciting. The girls' side, I knew how good the girls were, but I kept hearing about St. Paul's, and we had never competed against them in the state championship. So I kept saying, really, they're that good as my girls, and some of the moms and the girls knew all of the players, that were on St. Paul's team. And so, they didn't take it for granted, even though we had not lost. We played Vestavia, we played Hoover, we played Spain Park, we played all the 7A teams and won those. But, they were really afraid, to play St. Paul's, and they didn't take it for granted. So they worked hard. We had a lot of practice matches for them, and getting the draw, for tennis, they don't seed. So they just pull names out of the hat. And we matched up against St. Paul's a lot before the finals and the semis. So they just got serious and just, really made they were going to try to beat them whenever they could. There was also, McGill and Montgomery Academy and not Briarwood, it was Homewood on the girls' side. That were some really strong teams too. So even though we knew we were good, we knew we still had to work hard to win. I was so impressed that they took every position except that one doubles position.
Coach Farlow, obviously a lot of tradition at Mountain Brook. We talked about the 30 overall state titles. You've been a big part of that, so you can speak to this as well as anybody. And you touched on this earlier of how important tennis is at Mountain Brook High School, but just tell us a little bit about the tradition of tennis at Mountain Brook.
Well, I can't take all the credit because, I'm just their high school coach. They've been practicing since they were kids, and we have some really great teaching pros in town. So, they know all their strokes, they know how to play, they know their serves and what, but, it's hard to attract them. I think having this tradition really does attract the top players to come and play. And they like also being on a team for a change. Tennis is one-on-one. Ever since they were 6 years old, it's me against you. So finally, they're able to play on a team where everybody's pulling for you. Even though you might have competed against your own teammate in the past, now everybody's pulling together on the girl boys side. And it's just very strong. There was Donna Robinette, who was a great coach before me. And, it's just we're really lucky to have so many talented student athletes and so many dedicated parents who are willing to go that extra step to make sure their kids get top training.
Well, Coach Farlow, certainly a impressive performance by your Mountain Brook Spartans teams, both boys and girls, at the state tennis championships last week. We thank you for, one, spending time with us here on the AHSAA Weekly, and two, we again want to congratulate you and your teams on a very successful 2021 tennis season. Thank you again for being with us here on the AHSAA Weekly.
Thank you so much, and thank you for giving these kids the attention and acknowledgement they deserve. I appreciate it.
Coach Susan Farlow, the head tennis coach of both boys and girls at Mountain Brook High School in Jefferson County. Back with more of the AHSAA Weekly in just a moment. WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA Weekly Show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Hot under the collar because your basement is full of water? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. Ox Foundation Solutions will come up with the right fix for you. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong.
Don't just dream it. Call Family Savings Credit Union. Right now, get something you want for as low as 2.24% APR. You can even apply online or by phone. Family Savings Credit Union, where your money grows with you and your family.
I'm Alan Parnell, the Parnell Insurance Agency. For 28 years, we've provided our clients in Alabama and Georgia with home, automobile, life, business insurance, and surety bonds. Our Oxford personal line staff is Michelle, Christy, Elisa, and Ty. Our Oxford administrative staff is Alan, Amber, Carrie, and Ty. We invite you to come to one of our offices in Oxford, Alabama or Tallapoosa, Georgia, and discuss your insurance needs with one of our insurance professionals.
What's your favorite high school sports memory? A late inning rally? A game-winning shot? A photo finish? Maybe it's a pep rally or a pregame ritual. Maybe it's the euphoria of a late-night bus ride home after a hard-fought win. Maybe it's having pizza with teammates after the game. Now, imagine if it never happened at all. School sports need your help. With budgets getting tighter, it's more than the games that are on the line. It's all the traditions, the community pride, the culture of your hometown high school, plus all those memories that are on the line, too. What can you do? It's simple. Buy a ticket when you can. Go to a game. Take the whole family. Let's do everything we can to keep those cherished school sports memories alive.
This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
More of the AHSAA Weekly. Now it's time for this week's Wilson Ball Grant recipient. This week we're going to spotlight Cody Wood of Cornerstone Christian School in Birmingham.
Sir, we completed the volleyball season, never had one COVID scare, never had to cancel any one game, so we were fortunate. I already have girls, when are we going to start conditioning? When are we going to start practicing? So they're ready to hit the ground running. It's going to mean a lot, especially as a 1A school. The volleyball program has not been very successful in the past, so any new materials, any new equipment will just do wonders for the school. It's a very small school, it is growing, but we had about 18 girls last year, and this year we've had about 55 girls to be interested in the volleyball program. So, I mean, it's just overwhelming. I'm so thankful. What they do for schools all across the state is awesome.
And we close out this week's edition of the AHSAA Weekly with David Holtzford's highlights. David Holtzford of the Alabama High School Athletic Association gathering highlights from all over the state of Alabama in spring sports this week. And we're going to begin with girls soccer. Westminster Christian of Huntsville hosting Priceville in the AHSAA State 4A and 5A soccer playoffs. We pick up the action. Sophomore Brianna Tinsley receiving a pass on the right side and boots it past the keeper for a quick 1-0 West Westminster lead. Later, Malin Weekly drives toward the goal, putting on the brakes to elude the defender and scores the second goal for the Wildcats. And Tinsley gets back into action with a cross pass to Clara Norris, who finishes for the goal and a 3-0 lead. Tinsley then nets Westminster's final goal in the 4-0 win, and the Wildcats advance to the soccer playoffs. The AHSAA State Baseball playoffs got underway in all classes but 7A. We pick up the action at Holtville, where the Class 5A Bulldogs hosted Sylacauga in the final game of the best 2 of 3 series in Elmore County. Senior Dax Flora plates the first run to give the Aggies a 1-0 lead. Holtville rallied in the bottom of the third inning with Sam Silas at the plate, here driving in a runner from second with this key hit to tie the game at 1-1. In the bottom of the fifth, Holtville is back at the plate trailing 5-3 when Tanner Potts drives in 2 runs to tie the game at 5-5. In the next inning, Holtville's Randy Davis at the plate with a game tied 6-6, delivers in the clutch with a game-winning hit, scoring Silas to give the Bulldogs a 7-6 win and the series advancing to the next round coming up on April 30th. We pick up more state playoff action with the Class 6A first-round series featuring Hartselle and host Buckhorn. The Tigers trail 3-1 in the top of the 6th inning when Elliott Bray plates a run on this grounder, and Brody Morrow follows with a hard liner to center field to tie the game at 3-3. Later in the same inning, the star of the series, Peyton Still, ripped his second double of the game to drive in the go-ahead run, and Hartselle went on to win the game 5-3. The Tigers of Coach William Booth swept the series with a 7-0 win in Game 2. And the first state championships of the spring season went off without a hitch with this competition for Class 7A at Montgomery's Lagoon Park, while Mobile Tennis Center hosted the Class 1A, 4A, 5A, and 6A state championships in tennis. Spain Park took home the Class 7A boys title, while Huntsville finished as runner-up. Auburn's girls won their first state championship, winning over Vestavia Hills in a tiebreaker at Lagoon Park to take the 7A girls crown. At Mobile, Madison Academy, St. John Paul II Catholic, Houston Academy, St. Luke's Episcopal, Montgomery Academy, and Mountain Brook all captured the blue trophies in the other tourneys. The Lady Spartans of Mountain Brook Coach Susan Farlow dominated the Class 6A state meet, posting 83 points to claim the girls, the school, I should say, their 30th girls state tennis championship. And there you see the blue maps being handed out, both at Lagoon Park in Montgomery and also at the Mobile Tennis Center in Mobile. Thanks to David Holzford and all the schools around the state, part of the NFHS network, for providing those highlights. And that will wrap up this week's edition of the AHSAA Weekly. We'll see you back here next week.